This interview is a paid advertisement. It was produced on behalf of the company and is considered investor relations activity under Canadian securities law. All statements and opinions are those of the guest and should not be construed as investment advice. Please do your own due diligence or consult a registered investment advisor. Hello and welcome to the Gold Newsletter, here from the floor of the New Orleans Investment Conference, hosted by our very good friend and co-host of this channel, Brien Lundin. My name is Kai Hoffmann. I'm the NJR mining guy over on X, and of course your host of this YouTube channel as well. And I'm joined by the CEO and President of the Kirkland Lake Discoveries, Stefan Sklepowicz. Stefan, really appreciate you joining us here on the floor in New Orleans. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Kai. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, really looking forward to the conversation. Kirkland Lake Discoveries. Been following the story for a number of years now, but why don't you give us a bit of an overview where you're at? Who are you?
Sure. So basically our company is a junior exportco. We're situated in the Abitibi Greenstone Belt in Kirkland Lake, Ontario. And we have a 40,000 hectare land package that we've accumulated over the last 10, 15 years. When mining was in the dumps, it was a great opportunity to accumulate land, and that's exactly what we did. So we're currently exploring that land package pre-discovery, but we think we're right on the edge of something awesome.
Fantastic, awesome. No, appreciate that overview. Second question I love to ask, like when companies are on the program for the first time, is just about cap structure.
Yeah.
Runs a bit through it, how many shares outstanding, warrants, anything we need to worry about?
Okay. So we just completed a financing, so our cap structure is now at 161 million shares outstanding. We have about 40 million warrants included within that last financing as well. About 10 of those are already in the money. They're held by strong hands, so we can pull them in whenever we need them. But we're well financed. We have 13.5 million. We just announced a 25,000 meter drill program. So
fantastic. Yeah, let's talk about the project itself. What's the name, of course, of it, and then a bit of the history, because you picked up that ground. It's been a while now. You've been holding it, because I know some of the background of the story behind the Kirkland Lake Discoveries. Run us a bit through the history, and then we'll talk next steps, of course.
Okay, so back in 2022, 2023, there was a transaction that was done between Newfound Gold and the previous company, which was Warrior Gold. And so what happened was the Newfound Gold property wasn't getting any value in their portfolio. It's this amazing land package in Kirkland Lake. And so they vended it in. At that point in time, they became a 50% shareholder, with Warrior Gold holding the other 50%. Shares were rolled back at that point in time. Financing was done, and basically started exploring that entire area. So we are currently exploring the KL West, which is our primary target. There's a large pluton and intrusion that came in on that side. And we have broad scale soil geochemistry around it that's basically pointing to the edges of this pluton being highly interesting. So we acquired a option on a ground called the Winnie Lake property that had mineralization from 1989. It was some pretty good holes for 2.7% copper, 2.8% zinc over 22 meters. And so that got us interested, because it was polymetallic what we were seeing around this pluton. And so we drill tested that this summer, ended up getting 35 meters of 1.22% copper equivalent over 4 different holes. And we also made 2 gold discoveries within the pluton, where it was a soil geochemistry, geophysics drill target. And we ended up hitting altered syenite that had quartz veining that was containing gold. So it's very exciting.
You seem like it, absolutely. No, it's fantastic. And you also just kicked off a massive drill program, 25,000 meters, you said. Run us a bit through it, like how are you doing the targeting? You've touched on it a little bit already, but what's the goal here?
So the nice thing about this pluton is it highlights really well in magnetics. And so you can see the edges of this pluton. But what we ended up doing is we flew a helicopter MT survey. And that MT survey is going to show us down to about 2 kilometers in depth. And so any conductive bodies, any structures, as well as the edge of that pluton, because it seems to be very important with regards to mineralization. So that actually just came in yesterday. So we're working through that data to see exactly what it's showing us. And that's going to help us fine tune our drill program. But what we see on the magnetics is this nice line. So there was 2 gold discoveries, and they're 2 kilometers apart. And that entire pluton has a 17-kilometer perimeter. And so basically we're going to be following up with that gold hit, working our way back towards the other gold showing that we found, and basically see if there's continuity in between those two, if there's cyanide around that entire area. It's just a very exciting time. So, what we're hoping for is multiple discoveries around this pluton, build it up the best that we can, and we have some really big neighbors that would be interested in taking that out. So
we'll talk about the neighborhood in a minute, but run me a bit through it. Like 25,000 meters, we are, what is it now? November 4th as we're recording this. So
we're at the edge of winter.
Yep.
Winter is coming. Are you going to work through it? Run us a bit through that.
Yeah, so the beautiful thing about Kirkland Lake is that it's year-round drilling, and it's actually sometimes better to be drilling in the winter because the ground's frozen, so you have much less environmental impact. You can basically stay on top of the ground versus sinking in. And so we'll be initiating that drill program probably by the 21st November is the plan. So we'll start with one drill, and that's going to follow up on the existing targets. We'll take a little break at Christmas, let the guys enjoy their time.
So nice of you.
Well, I don't know if I could make them do it. So, and then after that, in the new year, we'll bring a second drill in, and the plan is basically keep increasing drills as we find more stuff. So one will stay kind of in those known mineralized areas, and then we'll expand it further and further, basically scouting out this entire Pluton and see what's all there.
Run us a bit through the economics of the program. Like how much is a drill meter? What do you anticipate in turnaround time? Things like that.
So the drilling in Kirkland Lake is phenomenal. So our last program, we did 1,700 meters, and the average cost was $225 a meter, all in for...
It's Canadian or US?
Canadian.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and so that's geology, geologists, that's assays, that's room and board, drillers, everything. So very efficient program. We expect it to be just a little bit higher than that. With winter drilling, you have to have heated lines, a couple other things. So, $250 a meter is probably what we'll be looking at. Being well cashed up, it allows us to have some flexibility on the aggressiveness of how we're drilling. And so for me, it's more important that we find out what we're working with, especially in these markets, quickly, so that we can take advantage of great times.
Yeah.
So.
Run us a bit through, how are you planning to release drill results? When is the official start of drilling? And then, what can we expect in terms of news flow? Are you going to batch the results, or are you going to put them out individually? Run us a bit through the strategy there.
Yeah, so like I said, the 21st is when we're starting.
21st.
We were averaging 100 meters a 24-hour shift during that time. So I'm going to assume that we're going to be close to that with the next set of drilling. Turnaround time, I'm not 100% sure what the labs are going to carry, but we were getting results within 6 weeks previously. Being that it's the middle of the winter, there aren't as many companies that are able to put in.
Did you have to lock in the lab or anything? Did you have to give them a heads up? Hey, we're starting to drill. Can we have some capacity?
Yeah, definitely. So we do all that stuff ahead of time, get a quote for the X number of meters that we're applying for. So we're in the queue. They know that we're coming. ALS is one of the best labs out there, and we'll be using them. So.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, now that sounds interesting. Infrastructure. We got to talk about that because drill costs are super low. I'm assuming everybody sleeps at home. You don't have to build a camp. No fly in, fly out, obviously.
Exactly.
Run us a bit through the neighborhood of Kirkland Lake.
So we're less than 5 minutes from the town of Kirkland Lake. The drillers can grab McDonald's in the morning on their way out to the drill. So it's a network of forestry roads. We have high tension power that goes literally right through our property, cuts it where there's rail, anything and everything you possibly want. And it's a mining town. It's been a mining town for over 100 years. And with the majors that are there, they already have mines established. Agnico being the closest neighbor that we abut the major border with. They have Macassa mine that's been in production for 25, 30 years. It's a 5-year mine life, and they just keep finding more and more. So they're always looking for more ore. And so if we can find a nice big gold deposit, I'm sure they'd be interested in picking it up.
Absolutely. Lots going on up there. With Hemlo, Porcupine, those transactions are shaking up the neighborhood a little bit. So It's really interesting to see what's going on. Coming back to the transaction with New Found Gold, just quick follow-up. Any royalties that have been issued or anything that could be burdening the project?
Yeah, so on the Lucky Strike property on the east side, which isn't where our current focus is, there is a 2% NSR. On the Winnie Lake property that we optioned, there's currently a 2% NSR, but there's a buyback down to 0.75.
Okay. For how much?
$1 million.
Oh,
and that's
the standard rate, pretty much.
I know it's an incredible deal, so I'm pretty happy with that.
No, fantastic. It feels like we've covered a lot of ground already. Stefan, what are we missing? What should we be paying attention to? What else should we be looking at?
The biggest thing is it's really hard to explain how great of a place to work is in Kirkland Lake.
Side visit?
Hey, anytime. You're always welcome, Kai. It's like once you go there, you go to the Abitibi and you see that this is they've literally moved towns to build mines, and so it's a highly supportive community. On that note, we have 5 First Nations that we work closely with. We have agreements with most of them, and so they're fully supportive for permits and things like that. So, our property is currently permitted. We're expanding that permit to give us more flexibility, and that'll be all clear within the next, 30 days, realistically.
Oh, fantastic.
We've already got the stamps of approval from the First Nation groups, and so we know there's probably not going to be any other barriers.
No.
Ontario is pushing forward with, build mines fast and furious, and so, we have this great support. It's perfect jurisdiction to be working in.
100%, yeah. Maybe a bit of a summary question here. Like, what are some of the near-term catalysts? Maybe reiterate what you mentioned earlier, started drilling, things like that.
Yeah, so the 25,000 meter drill program is going to be, obviously the biggest catalyst. There's going to be ongoing results. We're planning on releasing those as they come out. Once we can put together the geological significance of it, so it's not necessarily like, we get the results, put them out. It's if it makes sense to release those, then we'll put them out as a 2 or 3 holes at a time. But my intention is to be as transparent as possible. I'm a firm believer in that. We have a YouTube channel that we basically have the GoPro strapped to the geologist as they're in the bush, as they're pulling core out. And we release those episodes every 2 to 3 weeks. And so with that, if there's anything, material, then we have to put out a press release showing, this is the core or whatever is going on. And so, it'll be a busy 2026. You basically can expect results coming out every, 3 to 4 weeks, leading all the way up until the summer.
Fantastic. Awesome. Stefan, sounds very exciting. Really excited to follow the story as well. Hope to have you back on the program to discuss those results, and hopefully they come in as expected. So really looking forward to that. Thanks so much for joining us here in New Orleans. Really appreciate it. And everybody else, thanks so much for tuning in to the Gold Newsletter. Hope this was informative for you. If it was, hit that like and subscribe button. Let us know what you think, and take care out there. Thank you so much for joining us.